Hey everyone, JVD back with another video. My first video with my new camera. I'm so excited. And it's a game review. Haven't done one of these in a while, so I decided to do it. The game, Adventure Time Card Wars. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you've seen this being played on the cartoon, but you've never seen it be played before. No, I'm only kidding. I'm really just messing around. But this game is what I'm reviewing. Let me go ahead and open up the game and show you what's in it. Okay. You got the rule book, which I'll explain. You got these location or landscape cards. You get 6 of them in total. You get 2 of these nice lands. You get 2 of them. You get 2 of these ones. And then you get the blue plains and the useless swamp. You get 2 of the plains. I think we put them together. Make a nice picture. I think you can do the same thing with that one and make a nice picture too, but that's beside the point. Yeah, I don't know how they go. And you get 2 of the swamp. Of course, this is just the starter, which is Princess Bubblegum versus the Swamp Princess. You get 2 different decks of cards that go with it. And I'll explain what part of the thing is too, because it's really weird. You get 1 deck, which is Princess Bubblegum. 1 deck, which is the Swamp Princess. And then you get this. If anyone has played the game Jumanji or the Clue, I think is Detectives or whatever the case may be, or any game that has a screen like this, you'll tell it's for decoding something. The reason why is on one of these decks, it's the Swamp Princess's deck. There's a card. I'll look for it. I played a couple games of this before. Yes, only these 2. The Brief Power has the little text on the bottom, which if you use this, you can decode it. I'm not going to tell you what it says, but it's for the online game of Card Wars for Adventure Time. Okay. Now, how this game is played is simple. There's a couple qualities to it, like magic. There's a couple qualities to it, like MLP, because I've played My Little Pony. The other thing you also get in the game is these little tokens, which I'll show you what they look like here. I'm probably going to switch over to dice. Easy enough. Each player gets 4 landscapes. If you're playing with the Bubblegum, you get the 4 nice lands. If you're playing with the Swamp Princess, you get the 2 swamps and the 2 blue plains. Of course, I had an idea to possibly mix them around. The object is to defeat your opponent by reaching their 25 points to nothing. Now, how you do that is with attacks from your monsters. You get 5 cards in your hand to start the game. Okay? 5 cards in your hand. A lot like Yu-Gi-Oh! Would do. The thing is, you have 2 actions per turn. The actions are used to either play a creature or creatures or play spells. Hence the idea for magic and Yu-Gi in there. Also, it's 2, so it's kind of an MLP reference in a sense, because you get certain action points in My Little Pony, as well as in Card Wars, you get 2 actions per turn, depending on, score in MLP, but in this one's just 2 no matter what. The only difference between MLP and Card Wars, if you do not use all your action points in MLP, they do stack. In Card Wars, they don't stack at all, so just keep that in mind. But of course, each deck has all these creatures like the Nisosaurus Rex here, or spells such as the Pie Storm, you know. And you get to play up enough to use your actions. So you can play creatures or creatures depending on how many points you have. You can activate abilities that are on certain cards that let you pay 1 action point to do something. Or you can use your action points to draw cards. Just like MLP, you can use an action point you have to draw a card. The only difference in this game, unlike attacking in Yu-Gi, it's a lot like a Magic style attack. You attack and they defend at the same time. So, for example, I'm going to go ahead and I'll pull out 2 cards here. I'll pull out the Nisosaurus Rex on the Princess side. Well, I should say the Bubblegum side. And on the Swamp Princess side, I'll pull out the Future Scholar. It was the top card. Now you see they both have an attack of 2. The defense, however, on this one's an 8. The defense on this one is a 7. So if this hits, it does 2 damage to the Scholar, but the 2 damage also goes ahead and hits him. So there you go. It's pretty much an attack-defense game. There are certain things that also let you use other abilities. But let me go over the main gameplay to start, because I went too far ahead. You draw 5 cards for your hand. Whether or not you go first doesn't matter. You always draw a card. The only difference between first and second in Card Wars is the term called fooping, or if you're a Magic player, tapping your cards. You cannot attack nor foop if in the first turn if you're going first. If you're going second, you may attack and you may foop. Okay? Fooping is allowing you to also go ahead and activate abilities that let you, that say when you foop, this happens. Or if you declare an attack, you foop that way too. You can play up to 2 actions, like I mentioned before, and you have to meet the requirement. The requirement is right there, the top left and right corner. The corner over here is what you need to have as your landscape to start. Over here is how many of that landscape you need, as well as the cost of the card itself for action points. So, for example, I'll actually bring this back up. The Nisosaurus Rex needs 1 landscape of the Nicelands, and it costs 1 action point to play. The ability at the bottom, at the start of your turn, if Nisosaurus Rex has a damage counter, draw a card. That automatically happens. You don't have to foop for it. One ability for fooping would be... I'm going to use... What will I use? I think I'll use the Night Tower. Sorry guys, it's a little late from where I'm at. It says if your opponent has no creature in this lane, they discard a card. Your lane is the landscapes. I'll give you an example. The swamp and this nice land. You're playing this useless swamp. I'm playing this nice land. They're face to face. They're in the same lane, and that happens throughout the entire game. It doesn't matter how you set them up. It just matters that you have them. And if you foop, like this says, you just tap it like that. And then in the beginning of your turn, after you, before you do anything besides drawing a card or whatever, you ready everything. So basically that is the untap step before the draw step. You draw a card, play your actions, and then you can attack if you go second, or if it's after the first turn of the game. You attack by tapping your creatures or flooping your creatures. I keep calling it foop, but it's floop. If you floop your creatures, you can attack. All creatures must attack unless they have a 0 attack cost. If your opponent defends, right, it's simple. It's back and forth between the two. If you're attacking into a lane where there's no creature mainly there to defend, you do the damage as straight damage. Just like you would do in Yu-Gi-Oh! If there's no other creatures on your opponent's side of the board, it's a direct attack. Backing into Card Wars, it's the same deal. There's no monster in that lane. You floop, you attack, it goes straight through. And the first person to take their opponent's life down to 0 wins the game. It's a really complex game. When you're first starting to play it, I've played about 3 games of this already, and I like the concept of it. It's actually really, really cool to see all the different characters that are used in the game, to play different decks, and to try different things. What I'm going to probably do is merge these 2 decks into one deck and see what happens. Also, booster packs are made out. The creator of the game also, by the way, I want to let you guys know, beside Cartoon Network, the actual company that took this game into creation is a game company you might know. They've created different games that I've played, such as Power Play, which I'm going to do a review on, and the DC deck building game, as well as, I think, Resident Evil. I'm not sure, but I know for a fact they've also done Lord of the Rings and Legendary. It is Cryptozoic. Cryptozoic did this, and it's amazing that they did it. I'm a huge fan of Cryptozoic games. I definitely think if you are a fan of Adventure Time, like I was, I'd pick this up. If I ever get cable in my room, I'm going to eventually watch more Adventure Time, because I actually like that show. Cartoon Network did a fine job on it. Other than that, it's a great, great system, great game as well. It's a little bit of strategy involved. Not too much, but a little bit of strategy involved. And, hell, what can I say? It's just overall a perfect game to play just for the hell of it. Waste like 10-15 minutes to play. Seriously. A lot of fun to play in this game, though. Even though this is, like I said, the collector's pack, the starter deck. This collector's pack right there. Right there. See? Collector's pack. Bubblegum and the Swamp Princess. The rule book is extensive. This will go over more in detail the rules of the game. I would advise to read that as well. Other than that, though, the game is really fun. It is, like I said, about 10 to 15 minutes to play a game. Maybe a little bit longer, depending on, how long you take for a turn. But the game is super, super cool. The pictures... Whew. I apologize again, guys. The pictures on the cards are really, really fun to look at. They're really cool to see. My favorite card, I think, is in this deck, I think. Beside the Steak Chop, which is just weird. I think this is actually supposed to be one of them. Yeah, I don't think he was supposed to have that. Yeah, I'm right. My favorite card, though, is this one, the Volcano. You can destroy a building, which, an example of a building is the Blood Fortress. I found it in the other deck. I think it's supposed to be in Bubblegum's deck. Then you can do 3 damage to a creature. Flip that that landscape, however. Piece it out. Overall, out of a 1 to 5, I'm going to give the game a 4 out of 5. I think the game can use a little bit of work when it comes to certain texts and how it's worded. There was nothing in the rules stating it, but I think there's a way to undo the landscape once it's face down on the board to bring it back face up. I'm not sure. Other than that, the game is easy to learn. It's a lot of fun to play. I enjoyed it. My friend enjoyed it. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a 4 out of 5. Wow, this video was 15 minutes and counting. So that's going to be it from me, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like, comment in the video what you think my next game should be. If I have it, I'll do it for you. If not, well, I'll think of something else for you guys to do. Or me to do for you guys, I should say. This might be one of the last videos of 2015 that I do. I'll upload it as soon as I can. And until next time, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.